So, Mr. Campbell, what words pop into your mind when I say the word Magna Carta?
Great Seal, I suppose. Magna Carta is it's a document which has had quite a dramatic effect. I mean, the Magna Carta itself wasn't that revolutionary in terms of impact on the wider population. It was focused firmly on the rights of the barons. But the idea of it was revolutionary.
So, do you think like it was a significant event in the world? Do you think it, do you think it was really, really important? Do you think the world could have been okay if it didn't exist?
I think at the time, it wasn't as significant as it perhaps appeared. Certainly the Magna Carta was fought over repeatedly. It was issued, reissued, adapted. What I think has become more significant, and I think particularly as Britain and England expanded into other parts of the world, you end up with a legacy of the Magna Carta which takes on even more power and strength, an idea of the Magna Carta than its original. And that's why even today, one of the American Bar Association, about as far away from the signing of Magna Carta as you can possibly imagine, the American Bar Association are happy to sponsor an award for this competition, at the University of Maryland, where it's about the best entry to do with the Magna Carta, because obviously they feel they want to identify themselves with it in some way, and what the qualities they want to identify with are the idea of freedom, of equality under the law, of that everyone there is no special privileges, and these are the kind of very powerful concepts that the Magna Carta gives.
So, in your estimates, how many people do you think the Magna Carta would have affected?
At the time, it was a very small number of people, so I wouldn't necessarily see it as significant in that sense, in how many people it affects. It's more the idea of the Magna Carta. It's more the idea that, right, from now on, even the king is subject to the law. And that's a very powerful and intoxicating idea, and an idea which explains the longevity of the Magna Carta all the way through up until now.
And finally, do you think the Magna Carta is a great theme for the rights and responsibilities topic?
It's perfect. It's an absolute perfect. It's the idea that the King John had somehow failed in his responsibilities as a king, and that the barons having had their rights, or what they perceived as their rights, impinged upon. And they were able to say, well, what are those rights? And try and lay them out in a document, and then force the king to sign it. Obviously, he immediately tried to go back on signing it, but the very fact that something was written down, some attempt to bring the king below rather than above the law, is in its own way a very revolutionary thing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Campbell.
No worries.